All right. I would like to welcome everybody to our parent meeting for our Fall Sports 2024. We're looking forward to a great season. In this short video, we'll kind of cover some of the basics, some information as far as dates, what you need, some rules, and different things like that. Before I start, we're going to open up in prayer, and then we'll jump into the meeting. Lord, I thank you and praise you once again that we get an opportunity to play the sports of soccer and t-ball. Pray that you would just guide and direct each of these young athletes, Lord, keep them safe. Allow us, Lord, that as we go throughout this year, that Lord, we would just be able to grow closer to you. Thank you and praise you and ask all these things in Jesus' name. Amen. All right. Well, the first thing I would like to say is welcome. Thank you for participating this season. We are looking forward to a great year. Uh, I'm excited to see what is around the corner for everybody. I'm excited to see some names that have played with us for many years, and I'm excited to see some new names and new faces that we'll get to meet here shortly. As far as what the YMCA is all about, for those that um, might be your first time participating in a Y sport, or maybe even haven't heard kind of the mission of the YMCA. Our mission statement is to put Christian principles into practice through programs that build a healthy spirit, mind, and body for all. And so that's our goal is to put out a program, this soccer and t-ball, that is uplifting, encouraging, and building children up in the way that they should go. And so that's our goal for what we do here. And that's what we strive to do in everything. And so we thank you for coming alongside of us and partnering with us in this process. As far as starting off, I'm going to go over where all of our locations, as far as where we play, everything like that. So as far as all of our games, practices, everything is held at our YMCA facility at Hunt Park. The address for that is 1823 Westover Road, Tifton, Georgia. Once again, that's 1823 Westover Road, Tifton, Georgia. That is where everything will be held. Practices, games, pictures, everything will be at that facility. We have a t-ball and a soccer field. You can find information on our website. I believe we have up there a layout of the fields, what it looks like. You can find that on our website. As far as game days, times, when we start, so our first practice is going to be August the 20th. That will be next Tuesday from the date that this should be posted, August 20th, 2024. Our first game should be Tuesday, September 3rd. So we've got 2 weeks of practices and then we've got 4 weeks of games. Is kind of the layout. We practice on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then we play on Tuesdays and Thursdays. In the event that we have to schedule anything, an additional practice, say a game gets rained out, or say we have to make up or something like that, that will be on Mondays, is our additional day that we have for those. So everything's scheduled Tuesday, Thursdays. Mondays are our makeup days. Now, as far as times of practices, times of games. So I'm going to start with the soccer first, and after our soccer, then I'm going to do our t-ball times. So for our soccer, the 3 to 4 year olds, they will practice and play at 5:15. Our 5 to 6 year olds and 9 to 10 year olds will practice at 6 o'clock. And then our 7 to 8 year olds and 11 to 13 year olds will practice at 7. The 14 to 16 year olds, right now we're still up in the air on that one. So that time will be announced at a later time. As far as for the T-ball, our 3 to 4 year olds will be practicing at 5:30. Our 5 to 6 year olds will be practicing at 6:30. And so that's what we've got right now. Now, I will say this, there's a chance that we've done this with our flag football. We've adjusted a few things, and there's a possibility we might do that with our T-ball some, as far as it's kind of doing an introductory training with that, to where it's a lot more focused on the skills of the game, how to do certain skills properly, and building off of that way as they graduate up to coach pitch to fast pitch in the future. They will have a foundation And really, the main thing at 3 to 4 and 5 to 6 year olds that we strive on is just building a love for the game, really enjoying it, getting out there, having a good time. Sometimes that might be really actually playing t-ball 25% of the time, and 75% of the time just running around having a good time. But we really strive to have something that the kids, when they go home, they say they had a good time. They were moving around, being active with everything that they do. And so I'm looking forward to this season. It's going to be exciting, and looking forward to seeing, like I said, some new faces, some returning faces to the season. Now, as far as what the first practice looks like, so this is the August 20th practice. On that practice, that is our day where we're trying to make sure everybody's on the correct teams. So the coaches will have the rosters. Um, Everybody will be there. Like I said, you'll show up at the time. Hopefully, the coach will have the roster and be able to contact you beforehand. But in the event that you do not have, like you haven't been contacted or anything, you'll show up at the time that I mentioned, and you can go back and listen to that again if you need to. But you can show up at that time, show up at the fields. If you don't know your team name, go to the concession stand. Either myself or one of the workers with us will be there, and we can tell you what field to go to. Make sure that you've got the right coach, make sure you're on the right team. And also, just on the roster that the coach has, make sure that your child's information is all correct as far as the name, how it's spelled, first and last name. Make sure that the shirt size is correct, and also make sure that your contact information is correct. Sometimes maybe one letter might have accidentally got put into the system wrong, and so it'll make it where you're not getting emails or contact or phone calls or whatnot from everybody. And so I just want to encourage everybody, please, on that first practice, make sure that all that information is correct. Also, as far as equipment and gear needed for practice. So for the soccer, all that is needed is cleats and shin guards, plastic cleats, not metal cleats on the bottom, or the rubber cleats, excuse me. And so those and shin guards are the two things that will be needed. A soccer ball, if you have a soccer ball that you want to bring, feel free to bring it. Extra soccer balls never hurt, but please, 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 please make sure that you write your name on the soccer ball. As we have our soccer balls that have YMCA out there, we don't want them to get mixed in or to accidentally take the wrong soccer ball home over the season. And then for the T-ball, one thing, the things that are needed for T-ball is a glove and cleats. Now, the cleats is a little bit more optional for the T-ball. I encourage it, especially the 5 to 6 year olds, but they really need a glove. That's the main thing that they need for the T-ball. Now, I will say, if there's anybody that might not have a glove or might have outgrown an old glove and needs to borrow one, we will have some of those at the game. Bats are also something. I know some players have their own bats. We still have some bats at the concessions that they can use. But once again, if you are bringing something that is your own, please make sure your child's name is written on that somewhere. That way, if it gets mixed up with somebody else's, we'll be able to get that back to you. As far as uniforms go, the YMCA will provide all of the shirts and jerseys for the teams, but we will not be able to provide the shorts. We ask that everybody wears black shorts, especially on the picture day. That's the main day that we try and have everybody in black shorts, just so that way the team looks uniform and everybody is matching. As far as for the baseball, sometimes some of the coaches prefer to maybe try and do baseball pants, but that is up to the coaches and you to decide as far as for the T-ball goes. All right, so moving right along. As always, if you are interested in coaching or sponsoring, I know I've been in contact with some people already about that. If you are interested in that and have not gotten in contact with me, you can email me at seth@tiftairymca.org. We're always looking for coaches, always looking for sponsors. So if you're interested in sponsoring your child's team, that is something, and I'm going to put some more information on that up in just a second. Also, contact as far as weather alerts, picture day reminders, different stuff like that is through two different places. So we have our weather hotline. That is one of the areas. The weather hotline number, and I encourage everybody to write this down, put it in your phone. That way you can call it. It's 229-528-9109. That is our weather hotline. All updates, alerts are posted on there. It's basically a recording of that way you can call it and it'll give you the most recent recording, letting you know if the weather, how that's impacting us. Normally it is not updated until 30 to 45 minutes prior. I know some people are trying to travel or are traveling from 20, 30 minutes away. So we try and leave some time so you know before you leave, but we also don't want to make that call most of the time too early. Just since the weather's changing, we try and make the call about 30 to 45 minutes prior to games or practice times. Once again, that number is 229-528-9109. All right, the next one that we have is our why game time. And so I'm going to show you real quick the why game time information. So, all right, right here. Let me go back just to the beginning. So anytime you go, you're going to type in up here at the top, whygametime.com, and it will bring you up to this page. In this box, you will type in Tift area and hit find. For some reason, the zip code does not work. It has to be Tift area. You can then select Tift area, and it will bring you to our Why Game Time page. Now, in the past, this has been something that you have signed up for the alerts here. You'll choose the program, put in the phone number, and it will register you that when we use this to send texts, send updates, it'll send that directly to your phone. However, something we actually used this past spring is we integrated it with our sports and programs as far as schedules. We also used our tournament information, was all through Why Game Time. And so as another area that you can go to find the schedules, once they're published, they will be published and it'll tell you what field, what team, and we also normally try and put on what coach is in there as well. And so we've got those things for you this year. Now I want to go back to something I was just talking about a second ago as far as sponsorship. If there's anybody that is interested in sponsoring their child's team, that is something that we have available. This is the information here. So you've got the price is $200 to sponsor the team. That includes your name will be on their uniforms, as well as you'll get a plaque at the end of the season. And then you'll also be able to down here, child's name you want to sponsor. You will put your child's name there. And then what size would you like for your sponsor shirt there? And then you also can have your choice of jersey color. We do two choices just in case one of them's already taken. Then we'll go to your second choice of jersey color. We normally try and make sure your team's or the team you sponsor has all of that information there. I'm going to go back also to the information sheet for soccer specifically. So I've already gone through a lot of the information up here at the top, but what I really want to key in on is the evaluations. So I know I sent out an email yesterday that was supposed to have the link. For some reason, that link was not working. I sent it out again today with the correct information. It should have actually been this page here that you received. But for the evaluations for the 13, or excuse me, that's this today, the 13th, and also the 15th, there are two evaluation dates. So if you are a U9, that is 7 to 8-year-olds, you are at 5 o'clock. If you are a U11, that's 9 to 10-year-olds, it is at 6 o'clock. And if you are a 11 to 13 or 14 to 15-year-old, that will be at 7 o'clock right there. So that's our times for everything. You have to come to only one of those. Now, I want to explain real quick the reason that we do the evaluations. The evaluations are not of you're going to make the team, you're going to get cut from the team. The reason that we do evaluations is because our coaches begin to draft teams starting at the 7 to 8-year-olds. And we want to try and make sure that the teams are as even as possible. So in the evaluations, we'll then place children based upon their skill level and how they do in the evaluations in the draft. And the coaches will go from there to pick teams to try and ensure that all teams are as even as possible. And so you only are asked and required to attend one of those evaluations. Once you attend the one, you don't have to go to the other. But at the evaluations, like I said, this is exclusively just to try and make sure that our teams are as fair as possible. And that's why we ask that everybody please make their best effort to attend these or the evaluation, just so that way it makes things as fair as possible for everybody. Also, we moved our coaches meeting to Monday, August 19th, 7 to 8 p.m. for the soccer, 5:30 to about 6:30 for the T-ball, and that'll be next Monday. All right. So kind of moving right along, as we wrap up this parent meeting, some important information. I go over this with the coaches, but I wanted to go over with this with all of our parents. And that is our really code of conduct guidelines that we ask from all of our players, from all of our coaches, from all of our parents, spectators, everybody involved. And that is just the code of conduct that we have. So first and foremost, profanity will not be tolerated either on the field or in the field's general area during the game, after the game, before the game. That is going back to our mission statement. We're trying to create a positive and uplifting environment. And so those are things that will not be tolerated during the sports facilities. Also, ungentlemanly conduct. So whether that be aggressive behavior, whether that be in words, actual physically, any of that will not be tolerated. Thankfully, we've been blessed that we've not had too many of those circumstances in the past. But in the event that there is somebody that is acting in an ungentlemanly conduct way, determined by the officials, the coaches, and by the YMCA staff, you will be asked to leave the field for that day. And you can return the next day. However, if it occurs again, then you will be asked to leave the field for the remainder of the season. And so hopefully that's not something we have to worry about, because I know everybody here is definitely not one of those parents. And so I thank you for that, but we're going to go ahead and go over that in the rules just so that way everybody's aware. Respect for referees, players, coaches. If you would, we just ask that everybody be respectful and treats others the ways that you would want to be treated in that circumstance. Please understand that there's one referee on each field. There's going to be some things they see, some things they don't see. And so they're not going to make every call. They're not perfect. Nobody here is perfect. And so we just ask that you have respect for them. If there is, we'll say, a continual issue, feel free to, after the game, maybe talk with your coach. If the coach is I'm still having problem with it, then they will come to me and then I will talk to the referee. Please do not approach the referee, just as that is not the appropriate way to handle it. The referee, they are there to referee the game. In a lot of cases, the referees are high school students that might play soccer or are working with us for that. And so please, like I said, be respectful of the referees, of the coaches, in that. Also, dangerous play must not be taught or encouraged. This is for coaches, for parents. We play the soccer ball or the T-ball. We do not play the man. We just want to keep everybody safe. That is the number one goal, priority of the season is to be safe and to have a good time and to learn soccer while we do those things. So we've got that. And then also proper respect for the opposing team. I am a very competitive person. I love to compete. I love to play. And so I understand completely as far as when you're playing somebody, it's sometimes hard to be, friendly or nice, but we do ask that you be respectful of the other team. At the end of the game, once the game is done, we're going to shake hands and continue to go from there. Like I said, we're here to have fun. We're here to compete, but ultimately we're here to glorify the Lord. And so that's things that I ask as far as from every parent. If there's any questions on anything, feel free to email me. I'd love to get with you on that, or even feel free to stop me up at the fields, and we'll get back with you on those things there. And so we've got that as far as rules. We will have concession stands that we will be selling during the practices, during the games. And so we'll have that as well. That is all for the meeting today. Thank you for taking your time and spending with us and just watching this. Thank you for staying with me all the way through. We will see you shortly. If there's any questions, Seth at tiftareaymca.org is my email. Feel free to reach out to me there. Thanks and have a blessed day.